Welcome to this video tutorial on managing user accounts in a Windows environment. In this tutorial, we will cover the basics of user accounts, including how to create, modify, and delete user accounts in a Windows environment. User accounts are an essential part of any Windows environment, as they allow users to access resources on the network and perform various tasks on their computers. Managing user accounts can be a daunting task, especially in large organizations with many users. However, with the right tools and knowledge, managing user accounts can be a straightforward process. In this tutorial, we will focus on managing user accounts in a Windows Server environment, although many of the concepts and procedures covered here can also be applied to Windows desktop environments. Before we dive into the details of managing user accounts, let's first define what a user account is and why it is important. A user account is a set of credentials that allows a user to log onto a computer or network and access resources such as files, folders, printers, and applications. User accounts are used to control access to resources and ensure that only authorized users can access sensitive information. In a Windows environment, user accounts are managed through the Active Directory service, which is a centralized database that stores information about users, computers, and other network resources. Active Directory provides a single point of management for user accounts, making it easier to manage large numbers of users and resources. In the next segment, we will cover the different types of user accounts in a Windows environment and how to create them. In a Windows environment, there are two main types of user accounts: local user accounts and domain user accounts. Local user accounts are created on individual computers and are used to log on to the specific computer. Local user accounts are typically used for personal computers or small networks with only a few computers. Domain user accounts, on the other hand, are created in Active Directory and are used to log on to any computer that is a member of a domain. Domain user accounts are used in larger organizations with many computers and users, as they provide a centralized way to manage user accounts and access to resources. There are also two types of domain user accounts: standard user accounts and administrator accounts. Standard user accounts are the most common type of user account and are used for everyday tasks such as checking email, browsing the web, and running applications. Standard user accounts have limited privileges and cannot make changes to the system settings or install software. Administrator accounts, on the other hand, have full control over the computer and can make changes to the system settings, install software, and perform other administrative tasks. Administrator accounts should be used sparingly and only by users who need to perform administrative tasks. In addition to local and domain user accounts, there are also built-in user accounts that are created automatically when Windows is installed. These accounts include the administrator account, which has full control over the computer, and the guest account, which has limited privileges and is disabled by default. In the next segment, we will cover how to create user accounts in a Windows environment. Creating user accounts in a Windows environment is a straightforward process, whether you are creating local or domain user accounts. To create a local user account, follow these steps. 1. Open the control panel and click on User Accounts. 2. Click on Manage another account. 3. Click on Add a new user account. 4. Enter the user's name and select the account type standard or administrator. 5. Click on Create Account. To create a domain user account, follow these steps. 2. Right-click on the container where you want to create the user account and select New User. 3. Enter the user's first name, last name, and user logon name. 4. Select the password options and enter a password for the user. 5. Click on Next and then Finish. Once you have created a user account, you can modify it to change the account type, password, or other settings. To modify a user account, follow these steps. 3. Click on the account you want to modify. 4. Click on Change the account type to change the account type or change the password to change the password. 5. Follow the prompts to make the desired changes. In the next segment, we will cover how to delete user accounts in a Windows environment. Deleting user accounts in a Windows environment is a necessary task when users leave the organization or no longer need access to resources. To delete a local user account, follow these steps. 3. Click on the account you want to delete. 4. Click on Delete the account. 5. Follow the prompts to confirm the deletion. To delete a domain user account, follow these steps. 2. Right-click on the user account you want to delete and select Delete. 3. Follow the prompts to confirm the deletion. When you delete a user account, all of the user's files and settings are deleted as well. It is important to back up any important files before deleting a user account. In addition to deleting user accounts, you can also disable user accounts to prevent users from logging onto the network or accessing resources. To disable a user account, follow these steps. 1. Open the Active Directory Users and Computers console. 2. Right-click on the user account you want to disable and select Disable Account. 3. Follow the prompts to confirm the disablement. Disabling a user account is a temporary measure and can be reversed by enabling the account. In the final segment, we will cover best practices for managing user accounts in a Windows environment. Managing user accounts in a Windows environment can be a complex task, especially in large organizations with many users and resources. Here are some best practices to help you manage user accounts effectively. 1. Use strong passwords. Require users to use strong passwords that are difficult to guess and change them regularly to prevent unauthorized access. 2. Implement a least privilege model. Assign users the minimum level of access required to perform their job functions to reduce the risk of accidental or intentional damage to the system. 3. Regularly review user accounts. Review user accounts regularly to ensure that they are still needed and that their account settings are up to date. 4. Implement multi-factor authentication. Use multi-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security to user accounts and prevent unauthorized access. 5. Use group policies. Use group policies to enforce security settings and restrictions on user accounts to ensure that they comply with organizational policies. 6. Monitor user activity. Monitor user activity to detect and respond to suspicious behavior or security incidents. By following these best practices, you can help ensure the security and integrity of your Windows environment and protect your organization's sensitive information. Thank you for watching this tutorial on managing user accounts in a Windows environment. We hope you found it informative and helpful.